Welcome into the Commanders Report Mailbag. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today I'm answering your questions on the Washington Commanders as we are getting closer and closer and closer to the start of the Commanders training camp in just a few short weeks. But before we get into the questions today, click that subscribe button if you haven't already to join the most interactive community of Commanders fans anywhere on YouTube. We are now the largest individually run Commanders news program anywhere on the YouTube platform. That is for a reason. And that reason is because we give you guys free, informative Commanders content on this channel every single day. So if you want daily updates on the Commanders all throughout this monumental 2025 season, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. Got one from my man, Jonathan Taylor. Good to see you, buddy. He says, biggest draft steal and biggest draft bust so far. I know it's too early. Is he talking specifically about the Commanders? I'm just going to answer this question based on the Commanders. So this year, I would say the biggest steal has a chance to be Jaylin Lane, the wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. He might be one of the best punt returners in the league in short order here. Super fast. I think that he's going to be a decent slot weapon for them as well. Really like that pick. Jaylin Lane, I think, could be an absolute steal. Also, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt for the Commanders, I think, could be a real steal. He got drafted on late day 3 as a running back out of Arizona, had some eligibility issues, but he's super explosive. His jump cut was electric at OTAs and minicamp this year. And then biggest draft bust, I mean, I don't really want to say any of these guys are going to be busts. I believe in Josh Conerly Jr. I believe in Trey Amos. Maybe if Amos's back issues start popping up, there were some reports of that earlier this offseason, maybe that could end up being a pick that they end up regretting, but hopefully that's not the case. Kane Medrano, I think, has a chance to probably be cut next year if he doesn't develop, but that's probably my answer to this question right now, Jonathan. JD5 fan says, how long do you think it will take for Jayden Daniels to win MVP? He might win it this year. All right, some of the numbers that he was putting up last year, specifically in the red zone and in the clutch, were just unreal for a rookie, all right? And then what he did in the playoffs obviously speaks for itself. In the total aggregate numbers, he was, anywhere between, low top 10 to kind of 15th, 14th in a lot of categories. But he just beats you in so many different ways, man. He's got great arm talent, really good pocket presence. He reads defenses pre and post snap very well. Fantastic scrambler, already one of the best scramblers in the National Football League. He just does it all, man. So I think he could win it as early as this year. And I think by the end of the season, we're talking about Jayden Daniels in the same conversation as we're talking about guys like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and those guys. I think that he will be a truly elite quarterback by the end of the year, and I think pretty much everybody's going to see it that way by the end of this season. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What is the percent chance that Jayden Daniels wins league MVP in year 2 of his Commanders career? Put it on a scale of 0, meaning no chance he wins it this year, to 100, meaning it's already in the bag before the season even begins. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know the percent chance Jayden Daniels wins the league MVP in 2025. Got one from Keith. It says, will Jordan Magee be a real outplayer this year? I think it will happen. The Jeremy Chin replacement. I think that's the plan. I think right now the plan is for Jordan Magee to play that quote-unquote bandit linebacker safety kind of in-between type of role. Jeremy Chin is kind of a bigger, strong safety, played that role for this team last year. J-Ron Curse played this role for years in the Cowboys defense, where he's kind of that bigger safety linebacker type. And Jordan Magee, even though he's not a safety, he's not an oversized safety, he is a undersized linebacker. So really his size profile to Jeremy Chin's very similar. And like Jeremy, Magee is super athletic, all right? And he's known for his pass coverage, and that's what he was known for coming out of Temple. So one of the reasons why I think the team was relatively comfortable letting Jeremy walk in free agency, ended up going to the Raiders this year, is because they believe in Jordan Magee and his coverage ability as an undersized kind of bandit linebacker safety type. And I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do this year. The team, I think, has very, very high expectations for him. Then we got one from Ginger Davis, is what's going on with Terry. Nothing really new, Ginger. I am recording this on Wednesday, and it'll probably go out on Sunday, just so you guys know if you're watching this in the video format on Sunday. So maybe he's already signed to an extension. Who knows? But at the time of me recording this video, there's just no new information. And honestly, I don't think we're going to get new information until we get close to training camp. We'll see if Terry ends up holding out of training camp. That's been reported that he is considering holding out of training camp, and that would be no bueno, in my opinion. You want Terry and everybody on the practice field so that this team can get ready to try and win a Super Bowl this year. We saw kind of a big holdout situation in Dallas last offseason and last preseason with CeeDee Lamb, and that did not work out for the Cowboys. CeeDee had a really slow start. So I'm hoping Terry and the Commanders come to a deal as soon as possible and hopefully before training camp so that he can practice right away with this football team. Now, go ahead and check out our friends at Fanatics if you haven't already, guys. You guys can get 50% off this Commanders hoodie right here with all the patches on the sleeve. You got the Commanders logo there. I think it's an absolutely fantastic burgundy color as well. So if you want to wear it during Commanders training camp this year, even though that might be getting a little toasty, but you could also wear it just lounging around the house, especially on Commanders game days this year. You can go chatsports.com/WAS hoodie. That link is in the comments and description of today's show. And you guys have to use that link to get that 50% off coupon. So make sure you guys go chatsports.com/WAS to pick up a Washington Commanders hoodie today for 50% off. Got one from Addie. Hope I'm saying that right. Addie Smith says it's amazing how many people in the media dislike the Commanders. Adam Rank is a you-know-what. Yeah, man. Like, I think he's the LeVar Ball of NFL record predictions. I think he purposefully puts stuff out there so that it'll get kind of a lot of engagement on Twitter, and, he doesn't really care if it's negative attention. You guys know the old adage, all attention's good attention, right? Especially for somebody in the media that's trying to raise his profile. He's been doing this the last several years, and hey, the NFL Network will continue to let him do it because he's generating a lot of engagement for the company and for himself as a personal media personality as well. So I think that, maybe he doesn't truly believe the Commanders will go 7-10. I don't know how you can think that, given that this team is better this year than it was last year. 5 wins less compared to what they did in 2024 with a worse team, I think is just a crazy take to have. But my record prediction right now is 12-5. That's what I can tell you guys right now. I know that might sound not fantastic because they won 12 games last year and they're better this year. So logic would dictate, they should win 13 or 14, right? But, the Commanders definitely won a couple games that maybe they shouldn't last year. The Hail Mary game, the Mariota game at the end of the year, that was kind of a crazy one as well. I think this team is more of like a 10-win football team last year, whereas I think this year they will earn every bit of those 12 wins that I think that they will get. Then we got John coming in with one here. Says, do you believe Marshon Lattimore will make a difference this season? Yes, I am a Marshon Lattimore believer. Now, I have a healthy level of pessimism for him as well because I understand that he can't stay healthy, and I understand that he didn't play all that well last year when he was trying to fight through that hamstring injury. But I can tell you he was flying around at Commanders OTAs minicamp this year. I can tell you that the team really believes in him. When Marshon Lattimore's healthy and he's on the field, like, he is still one of the best corners in the National Football League, in my opinion. So plays the position super physically as well. Dan Quinn loves that shit. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Marshon Lattimore, and I'm excited to see him play for this team this year. Got a couple more questions to get to here in just a second, but if you haven't already, click that thumbs up icon if you're a real one and you want to help out our channel today. We provide this content for you guys for free on this channel every single day. So if you appreciate the efforts that we give to you guys and you're having a good time on today's mailbag, click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. Then we got one from Ty. Says, do you see the Jaylin Lane starting for the offense this year? Not a full-time starter, all right? I don't think he's going to be a full-time starter this year. I think they're going to start with, obviously, Terry at number 1. Debo's going to be kind of your gadget guy that you're moving all over the formation. And then you've got a rotation of guys in that third spot. If you're going to be putting Debo outside, I think Jaylin Lane has a good chance to be playing in the slot. If you're going to put Debo in the slot, I think Noah Brown plays outside. Sometimes they're going to be putting Terry in the slot, and you got Debo and Noah Brown on the outside. I think Noah will be your true number 3 receiver And I could see guys like Luke McCaffrey, Jaylin Lane, etc., get some rotation work in there, but Lane probably won't be a full-time starter to start. He's going to have to earn his stripes. I think his job in year one, Ty, is mostly going to be punt return, and I think that he's going to do that very well. And I think that he's going to be somebody that's going to have a chance to prove himself in years to come as a potential slot weapon. Then we got one from Big E, says people going to understand why that signed Javon Kinlaw, Wise, and Big Eddie Goldman. They are gap sound run fit. So, I think that a big thing for the Commanders this year, especially after the way they got shellacked by Saquon Barkley and the Eagles' run game in the NFC Championship game last year, not to mention the other games they played against Saquon, is that they weren't strong enough up front. And the Commanders want to play a lot of nickel, and they didn't have the big bodies up front that they needed to be able to hold up against the hulking Philadelphia Eagles run blockers. And this year, you're bringing in Javon Kinlaw, who's even going to play a little bit of edge for you, apparently. Dietrich Wise is a great run defender. Eddie Goldman, he's getting older. He's regressing a bit. We'll see how he ends up playing for this team. He is a true nose tackle. But they brought in a lot of people here. Cleveland Farrell's a good run defender. Dorrance Armstrong's still pretty good in that regard as well. Like they've really made it a priority to stop the run this year. And they're going to try and generate pressure on quarterbacks with a bunch of stunts and games and Frankie Louvu stuff and all the stuff that we're used to seeing from this Commanders defense. But this year they really honed in on putting a lot of beef on this defensive line so that they could hold up and be very gap sound against the run, specifically going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. So shout out your guy down there in the comments section. What was your favorite signing that the Commanders made this offseason? Signing or trade? Did you like the Laramie Tunsil deal the best? Did you like adding Josh Connerly Jr.? Did you like the Deebo Samuel trade? What was your favorite? Let me know down there in the comments section. And that'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Thank you guys for sticking around for the entire mailbag today. We'll have another one next week. And if you want to get a question on next week's Commanders Report mailbag, we go live every single Wednesday starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. So join us for our live shows and get your questions on the show.